They have it for several different contests.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have this.
Okay.
N3.
And three.
FJP. But you have to get it for every contest, though. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, but the $50, you can get all, get all of them.
Actually,
Get them all.
Yeah.
that's sort of the best way to go about it.
If you want to do it in the states, I mean, they have one for each state contest.
The only thing that's a little odd about it is when you get that package, I don't know how many different variations of software there is. Let's say there's 20. So like winter field day, summer field day, all these different contests. But what you get is an email that gives you the password to activate each one of those. So rather than you having all that software on your computer at one time, you have to kind of do it individually, which is no big deal. But it is nice software. I like it. It hooks into your, in my case, my 7300. It shows the frequency that you're on.
Last night, I just hooked the cable up to the 80 or 891, selected 891.
Seeing the frequencies change on the screen.
I thought, we'll usually use N1MM. I don't know if they got it with the field day specific thing, or whether to generate the report in the correct format. You gotta have, each one's gotta have a license. If you got three, running 3 stations, 3 computers, 3 people got 5 licenses.
Okay, I've got a license for mine. Take a flat screen TV. I've got a Microsoft Surface tablet like what he's using there. It's next to the TV wirelessly.
We've got a triplexer for the off-center fed that you
Logging
ban,
software.
but that doesn't necessarily mean we'll have enough operators to buy.
But you want to have a computer at each station.
Yeah, if we run 3i. I wanted to see tonight how many people might be interested.
Bring Gina along. I'll bring Gina along, the female voice. You can get her better in the male voice.
Yeah, it does.
Up there in that frequency range where people hear it better.
I was looking at a lady at Bishop yesterday, and well, I'm not sure she's a lady. She had a Amish dress on.
We're trying to say.
Well, I'm not sure.
It wasn't one of your deputies, was it?
Put me in the mind of that, but there was a woman, it was like a driver, this woman driver, she was dressed like a man.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at this other.
All right, I can do it from back here.
I'm not this for the woman, I'm really
Trying to download your agenda.
One field day towards the end. We were up at Fleetland Park. Got Mary Hart on, and I was logging for her.
Did you just put it on your
And
computer?
she just.
Yeah, I'm trying to download the man agenda.
noticed that.
Then we'll take it out of the thumb drive.
Well,
Put it on this now, it's
not-
2 o'clock.
Not that, the meeting agenda that you emailed everybody, I was trying.
Oh, I only emailed the XCOM.
There's Russ. Maybe.
Oh, well. Russ is muted.
My big challenge right now is my typing. High SWR all things. So I'm afraid to create that for
We can just count on
But I
that.
I had
I think
trouble
the
soldering
keys
at the
very
first time, I resoldered it outside, trying to hold.
Well, I
it.
brought that back last
Right,
time.
right.
We might want to just keep all of our equipment in the truck for a while. Last time we couldn't get my tablet to work, but just more of that one. So nothing.
That's if I find some very so.
Which this one with four. The
I
first.
wish I could say that was Kate, right?
Yeah, then you got sick after work, yeah, you couldn't come back.
Now, every time since then, it hasn't worked.
The password to get into their Wi-Fi.
Now, there's a W, I don't think, unless I put it in my. It's,
I don't think the answer is no. I mean, it has to be no.
The one I'm using is the WCPL main is the one I connected to.
Yeah, I connected that. It says enter the SSID.
You didn't try to connect to the hidden network, did you? Usually it'll ask you that.
Mine connected automatically.
It says it's connected. Yeah, it's showing it now.
Wonder if Russ can hear us. He's muted, so he can't tell us. I can mute people from here. Forget what everyone else is.
Gary was concerned that we had.
Far left is a.
Oh, I think you gotta click on task line you.
Are we muted here? No, go to far left, bottom far left.
That's
Can't you change that?
That's our audio. So that muted me. If I mute that, we'll be muted.
Watch your step.
Yeah, watch. Oh, wait.
Freeze.
Watch your arm. Pull that around. Really could just leave this over here until leave that. Start some people are done walking through. Thank you.
Why'd you come before I did?
Mike, you're
All right, Russ is unmuted.
So then you can use that to turn on log.
Yeah, it's pretty well that. It's first on the air stuff, and there's, actually, it's free software for Windows computers. It's really nice for a new program. And it puts it in a format that you can use to submit for the parts of the year. So it's kind of the same concept where as you put the call in, it shows you the person. I have it on the phone here.
So that was looking around last night. I don't know, maybe it's like a company software for parts on the air. I made a couple contacts recently.
Hey, this is the most work.
Yeah.
And also.
You can almost
Or
see
here,
it.
when I'm using it, it shows you the actual parts on the air website.
Oh, yeah. Spot now.
That's what it is, the bosses are sitting over there.
Actually, I know, just push that podium back. Better not. push
No.
the button.
Part somebody else.
That's where that's what-
I've done more hunting, but I'm not a hardcore hunter. Now, I can go out and set up.
How are you? You make it.
We've got.
Well, you can have this one, sure.
On the other side, over there.
That would help.
I was so surprised by it working when I walked in, I forgot to sign in. Did you?
Johnson.
Eric, yeah.
But problem there is.
And there, he's quite a guy.
He's always prepared. I found that out today.
Yeah, I think it has to do with being a teacher.
Maybe that's what I told him. He was a good Boy Scout, but maybe it's the teacher.
I think it's the teacher.
I like that, the sort of the spirit.
So we'll train the trainer. All government offices.
I was scheduled at work to do it for Honeywell.
Yeah,
And something came up.
the other software.
Yeah, I said, well, you know, we reschedule something, go to it. The guy goes, the guy checked out all the training. And Honeywell said, you know.
Yeah, it's working.
Is this a different room?
No, it's just.
I thought I was right. I was way.
We're already started. I'm gonna be putting the microphone right there when you start, so you don't want to be by the mic. Not that it matters, but you're gonna be heard either way. Got your stuff on. I'm gonna text you. I thought about it today to tell you, hey, Bruce, this is all that.
Hello, Gary.
If you don't. do it
Mr.
right.
Mr. Secretary, Mr. Treasurer.
How you doing?
I paid.
Stan, you're huge.
I am. I'm not too far from the Georgia border there, Eric.
Can't hear you.
No, I meant. We got.
Turn your volume up.
Well, from my Android.
Try it again, Stan.
I said I'm not too far from the Georgia border.
We got it now. Can you hear us all right, Stan?
I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Russ.
Oh, Russ, don't see you. Oh, there he is, right in the middle. Turn your camera on.
Russ's camera is off.
Friendly analysis on that.
Turn.
That's probably you there.
Anyone hasn't had this?
Nope. Yeah, so I
Actually.
I made a note there, they're gonna give me money for dude.
They're holding a meeting at the library. Yes, my name's Stan at Camp Weed.
It's on.
Stan, your head is 6 feet tall right now.
Why?
Your head's taller than I am. Oh, Russell. No, we got you on the big screen.
Okay. Well, I'm on my mini pad tonight. Hey, Eric. Gary.
What's that?
I'm at a motorcycle rally up in northern Florida, northwestern Florida.
Okay. you're on your motorcycle.
And some of the other side was lots. And so
I should have a drink or something.
motorcycles we had. So we had some overrun.
So they got 6 members there and there's 4 or 5 online.
18 years.
Hello.
Southeast Asia.
How are you?
Good. He's in the States now.
You bring that other little cooler in?
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I got cheese. I'm just gonna put a celery stick.
That's just a cheap. 10 years old, let's say.
You can take a lot of it. you want.
So,
This is one of those.
There's a box of Kleenex right there. You can use your tissue for a napkin.
Everyone's saying this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, I had a couple good ones later. I was making this.
It's on the deal.
Then insert the metal tube in two pieces. And then complete it. You flatten it out.
Oh, no. Don't get them dirty. Mhm.
Now you know I have it.
It was there. Oh, yeah. That's something. Grandson's place. He does specialize in chefs.
Anybody eat the minutes from last month?
Not necessarily.
I need glasses.
He's got a museum set up.
Hello.
Oh, now Russell's took place.
Take a look at your acrylic. You haven't done acrylic,
I've
right?
never done, I've seen one. I've never done it. I'll go with that.
I think,
I got into it from woodworking side.
yeah. It looks, it really pops.
It does.
But I like that. Here's your.
They all look better than me.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Russ.
Hey, how you doing there, young man?
I'm doing just fine. Yourself?
Well, so far so good. We're enjoying life, and Karen and I are healthy and fighting all the good stuff we're supposed to fight.
Okay. You still playing with your 991?
Yeah, I got the 991. I use it only on 2 meters, but I use the K3 on FT8 and CW.
I'm going up to Orlando here next month. I'm going to look at the DX10.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'd like to go to that Orlando Ham Fest. I saw that advertised. That's pretty neat.
I go up on Thursday, it's Friday and Saturday. And I leave Sunday morning and go south.
Oh yeah, that looks like a great time. It really does.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, I'll let you go. What's going on here?
Me, I'm up in northern Florida at a motorcycle rally. Hey, and I got a bottle of wine over here. The young lady's with me. See, Russ?
Oh, you little booger, you. I understand that. I have my wife fixed a nice little lunch for me or dinner for me so I could get on this net. And I'm sitting here with a scotch.
Is that the first or the second one?
Yes.
Well, enjoy.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, Russ. Cheers.
Oh, cheers to you, buddy. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
This is good.
Okay, yes, I need to find out everything I can.
Okay.
Cheers. Straight line, you know, I mean, everybody wakes up. That was my challenge.
Without breaking.
Without getting down around.
You come close and then sand it down the rest of the way. That's what I heard.
If you don't wash it in your son's food, she's got something.
No, you're fine.
Hello.
Oh,
I don't remember what to see you. Okay.
3 minutes.
I think like she visited or something once.
now.
Now.
Yeah, on Zoom, I do.
Yeah, it's a shot class. You got a camera, Tom?
You know, I'm thinking I could. Yeah, for sure. This is, you know, my last. Here.
There. Can't see me too well. Because the camera's missing, I've got horizontal stuff vertical.
One. Three crackers. What do you want?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's just- I just do the first.
What? Please?
Classic.
Whatever you want.
I like a bowl. But if I rush, then I'm not gonna be hungry.
I'm not gonna go do that. We can actually go to the.
I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. Come on, rush.
My project for research and all this to go away. So I did metal work, standing. There's one other person helping each year, and there's always a different person. Metal base, mirror adjustment holders. It's all precise.
And move this back so that you.
Whichever one of us gets close to the other one.
Who's the ugly guy on the screen?
You can't eat in the library, Stan.
I muted him.
He's even ugly.
Stand by.
I muted him, so Ron didn't.
He doesn't have sound.
Trying to say something to us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, Tom,
Yeah,
I'm at Camp Weed in Florida at a motorcycle rally.
must be nice.
It is.
Whoops, we're in a coat room, must not be too nice.
Eating cheesy burger.
Just disappeared.
Eating cheese and crackers and drinking a glass of wine. I saluted Russ with his scotch.
All right. What kind of crackers you eat?
Good crackers. Calorie free.
Here, tell them you're eating these. Crunch Masters multi-grain.
Crunch Masters multigrain, Tom. Just what you need.
There you go.
So you got 2 minutes till the meeting starts, right?
2 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna sit back here and listen. Turn my camera around to where the food is.
You know, if you're gonna eat at the meeting, you're gonna have to send up a package here so we all can share.
I don't think Patty would like that.
Yeah, did you hear, Bill?
I think key lime pie, send some key lime pie up our way, a lot of
Does somebody in here have the Zoom on?
I don't.
Here and
I do, yeah, but I've got it down as far as.
You're actually.
it. It's your microphone that's picking up.
Yeah, I'm using it. As long as it doesn't get too loud, we'll get back.
Really good.
Shut it down.
Having trouble or did it just work tonight? where they had it all.
I'm gonna buy that cheese again. That's better than yellow cheddar, isn't it?
Tom is getting partially shape so bad. Like this.
He goes up to struggling around.
We mentioned this the other day, lunch. Yeah.
Let's see if they're good.
Seen an episode where
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Must be at least 8 people in the library.
Oh,
Last room.
Everything.
So we're probably at 15.
Couldn't ask for it to go much smoother.
Probably at 15.
I usually check in with.
My own camera.
Actually, last night, I missed it. I used to get on the radio. On the computer, we had a meeting, and I just talked back to him. Can't see him. And I kept saying, what?
Watch your step, like,
We're talking to in the meetings. And then one person. And I can.
Move the podium.
Privacy.
Yeah, I can turn the camera.
No,
don't
don't
bother
bother.
me.
Don't bother, it's fine. I've done a big shot.
You might just get.
In other words, he's not educated enough to know. He's probably blind.
All right, we're gonna start iteration or 2022 of the Wayne Amateur Radio Club. So welcome, everybody. We're gonna do some introductions first. So I'm Eric, WADLM.
I'm Tom,
I
NHABG.
think so.
Steve, KC8MIW.
Pat, first time.
Welcome, Pat.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Gary,
Gary, WHGMF.
Aaron,
Aaron, KE8LBA.
Dean,
N8LTE.
Mike, NHCEY.
Doug, Kilo Echo 8,
Juliet.
E-N-8-LFK.
And last but not least, Bill, KNWDK.
yeah,
KN8WD.
jury's still out on that though.
You don't like it?
No, but last but not least,
Least but not last?
least but not, or something like that. All right, well, let's get the business portion over as quickly as we can because the program's probably going to be kind of integrated in with it. So thanks to everybody for coming. The first item of business then would be approval of the December 9, 2021 minutes. And we no longer read the minutes. So is there anybody that hasn't had an opportunity to peruse them? If so, you're out of luck because we're going to go ahead. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes. There is one change. I somehow missed Steve Penrod on the list of people that attended the meeting, and I will fix that.
Move that be accepted as amended.
Mike, CEY. Second, Doug, AHNH. Any dissension? All right, by consensus, then we will approve the minutes. So I think the next thing would be the treasurer report. We have a new treasurer, but we're still in the process of switching things over. So Mike, you'll probably make the report. And then
Trouble with my audio.
Since this wraps up 2021, you show my report. And I figured that's a good stopping point to turn it over to Gary. But at this point, when checking, we got $2,655.73 in cash.
Hello.
$67.75. Take this off so they can get it together. Gives us a total of $2,923.48. And that's split between $279.86 to the repeater fund and $2,643.62 for the regular amateur club equity. If you go back and look at the last month's one, there was a typo that I made on the checking account, and the amount in here is correct, and that balances with what's in the bank statement.
Now, if your trip to Aruba was in here, what would the final balance?
I'm still waiting, collected enough for that. Didn't get it done in
You're
my
out of
time
luck.
frame.
Gary's gonna have to go. with that. Okay, any questions for Mike? Motion to accept the treasurer's report,
So move.
Mike. Second, Tom, APG. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I've got a motion.
Yeah, that's what I say, we're gonna probably do that next.
You got more visitors or more coming in. Watch your step, the court.
Yeah, the report across here.
We're gonna go around this way, sign the sheets here.
I had to bring dinner with me.
Just take a little bit. Okay. What do I do with that meeting? All right, you want to explain that or?
Yeah. In the last many years, nonprofit organizations like our Radio Club has to have a motion worded in pretty much a standard format authorizing the person to conduct business on behalf of that organization. Just electing that person treasurer doesn't transfer that authority. So we have a motion that I move that the Wayne Amateur Radio Club maintains its funds in the PNC Bank and that Gary Foster be authorized to conduct all financial transactions. Example, depositing and writing checks, opening and closing accounts for the Wayne Amateur Radio Club. And what I don't know, maybe Russ can tell me, if he's still on, if we have two people on the signature card or just one.
Repeat that for you.
Russ? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are you still on the signature for our Wayne Amateur Radio Club? Do you know?
To my knowledge, I think I am off, but I'm not sure.
We can check it. I guess the question to the club, do you want a second person on in case something happens or somebody's not a veteran when we need to do something? And if that's the case, I'd be willing to stay on and we can check if Russ is on.
Isn't the president usually part of that? The president and the secretary both have the powers to sign.
Only if we have you in this motion and you go down with us and do.
I can do that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I think you need a backup. So
Right.
it's usually the president and treasurer.
So we'll amend this motion to include Eric Mass and Gary Foster.
I just have a question on that. The signatures, is it, they have to have both or either one?
Either.
Either
The
one.
backup signature.
Okay, so no, it doesn't have to be both. Okay,
So if I get sick or
right.
it's out of town,
So we'd actually have three then. And that shouldn't be a problem, I guess.
we leave my phone, yeah.
Somewhere.
So the motion.
Motion is on the floor. We need a second.
Second it.
Lee.
And
Okay. Any questions? Gary.
Yeah, I know what he said, that it must be worded where it's ongoing, what doesn't have to go here with the president. And
No, it has to be individual's name.
It has to be a name.
So it would have to be in the
That's
minutes.
a federal rule of state or what?
Yes. I don't know where it all is coming from.
You have to have signatures on record.
Yeah, I know you have to have signatures, but as far as being in the club documentation, it'd be nice if it could be set up where it's ongoing.
You gotta take a motion and each time you got a signature.
But we didn't last year.
Other questions?
Question.
Moved and seconded.
Stand by. Question on that?
Russ, question?
Now you called the question.
Oh, he called question. Okay. All in favor of the motion, signify by
Aye.
saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, is that it for the treasurer, or did we actually accept the treasurer's reports?
Yes.
We did already, okay. All right, let's see. Next is the repeater trustee. Gary, do you have any?
Not really, it's just ongoing, you know, as the county works, things are being worked on all the time a little bit. Some of it open and some of it we don't know exactly what's going on yet.
Mhm.
As the license deal, you'll come in on that, we did use a repeater antennas. The only thing I will mention is if we don't get money from somewhere, the 440 repeater is going to be expensive, move is going to be expensive. We're either going to need hardline or 2 big players. So whichever way we go, we're going to need a few $100s from somewhere. Whether we get some help with that or have to come
Yeah,
up with.
somebody mentioned there might be some help
There might be, but
available, so.
we just need to know that if there's no help, there's going to be some.
I'll talk about that.
Okay,
Okay. That it?
that's it.
All right, Wayne Aries, and you can do any Skyward.
Yeah, really, no activity as far as that goes, from what you would typically think. Although the Simplast contest, which I know you'll be speaking about here shortly, is actually part exercise and part contest. So that falls into that category. I've been talking quite a bit with Wayne County Emergency Management. And as far as the topic, as far as the towers go, I don't have any type of date as far as when the existing tower at the comm center is going to come down. I'm guessing from what I'm hearing, sometime in the spring. Still getting some prices together with that. Jason McCormick a few weeks ago offered up a possible solution as far as a 440 antenna on the existing tower site of the county hall. And what he suggested or came up with the idea, there's a coupler that you can get that will allow you to use a single piece of hard line and connect the existing 2.1 antenna to the yet to be mounted 440 antenna. So you have one piece of coax that goes up essentially to this device. These devices cost roughly $700 each. So you need one on each end of the hard line. So that would eliminate the need for additional hard line to go up the tower. That's a pretty substantial amount of money to make the 440 take place. I spoke with EMA Director Joe Villegas today, and he's agreed to fund that in full. So we've got $1,400 committed from EMA to put that antenna on the county home tower. First Energy has donated the antenna that we're going to use, so we will not be using the existing 440 antenna that's at the comm center. They've donated a commercial grade CommScope antenna, which I know that's in excess of $1,000 for one of the pretty high dollar things. So EMA has funded that. Now, in return, although they're not necessarily asking for anything, one of the things that would probably be a good gesture, what they would like to see is club members get involved with checking the generator at the tower site. Essentially, once a month, going out there, checking the oil, firing up the generator, making sure that it works. And I assured them I did not think that would be any problem. We'll make keys available as needed. But I mean, that's a pretty significant thing. When I saw that $1,400, and I look at the budget or the amount of money that's in the thing here, my boy, that's going to be a big deal. And honestly, I've been happy if you would said they paid for half of it, but they're going to take care of the whole thing. So I don't think we'll have any problems. Once that tower actually gets up and running, going out there once a month, checking things, making sure everything's secure and so forth. And one other thing that, again, none of this is tied really to the $1,400, but you've heard me use that phrase in the past about political equity. You do something, I do something, get things done. The county has purchased, or EMA has purchased 20 weather radios that are to be distributed to the various county offices. And he asked us if the radio club would be interested in doing that, just taking them, plug it, do the minimal programming on the weather radios, nothing spectacular, most of you have these. And making sure it works and receives. If it doesn't, there's some external antennas that are available. And I spoke ahead of time, and I said we would do that too. I'm sure we can come up with enough people to make that happen. And the only other bit I have pertains to the upcoming testing session, which is on February the 5th. And while that's not an Aries thing, it does involve the Wayne County EMA, but that's where we're going to host the session. There's a basement of the Justice Center. So that room had been being used to store a lot of this PPE equipment. And just this week, that stuff has been moved to another location, essentially to open it up for us to use. So, I think I have all good news today. So that's what. I've often said that what I lack in technical expertise, I make up with people that I know.
And you know people.
I know. Too. So that EMA said that $1,400 is a big deal. Yes, ma'am.
As a newbie, what is EMA?
Emergency management, each county has a designated individual who is the emergency management person. It has nothing to do with amateur radio.
Right.
But amateur radio typically has, at least here in Wayne County, has a long history of integrating with them if situations unfold. So each county has an emergency management director. And they're kind of the person that gather up all the loose ends between fire departments, EMS, law enforcement. They are the people you go to get stuff.
Good relationship to have.
Indeed, if it's a $1,400 one today.
And it's nice because his office is right
Yeah, I'm
next door to
right there.
Joe. Joe Villegas is our EMA director, and Barb
Pitter,
Pittard is his
deputy, yeah.
deputy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then Doug is also our emergency coordinator for Wayne County.
Just a comment. In the past, we have helped out down at the Justice Center. We've run coax down for them through the elevator shaft into the offices down below where there's scanners and whatever, the radios. We put antennas up on the roof for them. So one hand washes the other down there. So we've done stuff for them in the past. They do stuff. Very good relationship. So I just want that.
And all of that played into this. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to them all the time, and they're always really interested in helping the radio.
Yeah, and without stepping on Doug's toes, other than just having one person, I think they're thankful. I did call Barb the other day as a trustee. I thank her for all that they've done for the club over the years and for her showing up and feel that. I mean, I kept it short, but I did thank her because I kind of felt it was necessary that they didn't think that he was doing everything for us and the club was ignoring it. So I just adjusted, told Joe how much, this was before I knew about the $1,400.
Tom just talked to some people in the past.
Just in general, you know, yes.
Tom's talked to some of them in the past too.
Yeah, I mean, just this week is
Right,
rare.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
And in my situation is I'm there with them every day. So it's not a special moment when I go.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking to them about it.
But, you know, if you see them out or see them at the fair, just say thank you. Don't take up all their time. Tell
They're instrumental in getting the 2 repeaters that we have now. I got a major grant, but it had to come to a nonprofit or a government agency, so Joe stepped in, helped facilitate that, and help pay for one.
And along those same lines, these couplers that we need to order, I asked them if it would be cleaner if they would do the ordering of them, and they're going to do that. So all I need to do is tell them specifically what we want, and they'll take care of ordering. So there's none of this, get them, we'll pay you back type of stuff. They'll just go ahead and obtain them, and we'll make the proper arrangements when the time comes for the installation.
Any other questions?
Comment to the generator that's on my way home every day.
Yeah, what I foresee is kind of doing a rotational type of a thing, have several people that can do it, like you're 1 month, and Eric's the next month, that type of thing. And so, I knew there'd be no problems finding people to do it. And that keeps us involved with them, keeps us.
They know who we are.
They know who we are.
We'll work the schedule out in the exec committee.
And they ask them if they want us to do it at the contract too.
Well, it remains to be seen what's going on.
Well, I mean, it's January states,
I mean,
because I don't think that
I know the answer is yes.
Okay.
What a
Good
bunch
thing.
of shit.
Without asking,
What a bunch of shit.
Somebody,
Russ was making a comment, I think. Did you have a comment, Russ?
I'm here. What's
I
the
said,
problem?
"You have a comment on this?
I can't hear.
Okay. All right, Skyward.
nothing.
Then we'll go to the E session that you want to talk about that too.
Just briefly, VE session taking place again at Wayne County EMA in the basement of Justice Center on February 4th. Now, this is kind of a Sarah Club byproduct. Stephen Benford is the lead examiner, if you will, there. But I know that anybody here, and I would encourage anybody that's part of the club that is a VE, step up and be present at this event. Again, it's I don't want to say it's certainly not the first time there's been a VE event in Wayne County. They did them in Rickman for 30 plus years, but I think it's been a long time since there's been one right here in Worcester. And hopefully some people show up and get tested. I mean, this is scheduled, who knows?
For Pat's benefit, the FCC a number of years ago stopped doing the licensing of amateur radio operators and turned it over to the hams themselves. It's a program called the Volunteer Examiners Program, and we have a volunteer examiner coordinator, which for us is the ARRL, and then a number of us are qualified volunteer examiners. So we'll have minimum of 3 volunteer examiners at each one of these test sessions. So when you get your license, we'll handle that.
And we do have books to loan.
We have what?
Books to loan.
Yes, and that was another thing that
If you are interested
if you are
in getting a license,
interested,
you don't
we
have,
have,
you don't have your exam already, the club has.
this would be the technician license, which is the entry-level license, and it's only good through July, but even after July, it'll be,
Yeah, that's why I want to start.
okay, well.
You're welcome to use the book. That's why we
Yeah.
just.
And then we have the general class and then the extra class also, if you want to.
I get a point of clarification on the date,
Did I say the wrong date?
possibly.
All right.
What date?
It's the first Saturday in February.
It's the fifth.
Okay. What did I say?
4.
You said fifth one,
I have fourth written down.
It's apparently the 4th and a half.
At what time?
Show up about midnight.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's. And they usually prefer if you sign up in advance, but you can walk in the last time they should be still allowing it.
Yeah, you have to have an FRN from the Federal Communications Commission. You have to apply for that before you come to take the exam. But we can explain things if you can contact
After
one
the
of us.
meeting, yeah.
And we can tell you how to get all that if you want.
Yeah, we need to try to keep moving here.
Okay.
All right, anything else on the meeting session then? County Commissioners Recognition Plaque, have you been able to do anything on that, Steve?
Yes. Here's what I had drawn up today. This would go on a 2-tone colored cherry plaque. So the lines on there kind of show how it would be. The wording would be in the center, and then and that would all be light colored. And then from the beginning line there in the center to the outside line would be a dark cherry around there. And if we wanted to, on the back of that plaque, we could have it here and have a Sharpie, everybody could sign if we wanted to do that or not, but basically, that's how it's laid out now. If everybody's happy, we can go with that. If you say, hey, this word should be larger, this should be spaced different, like, that's what we need to figure out.
All right, we can deal with that at the executive committee, and, but right now it says, has our logo up here with our greatest appreciation, Wayne County Commissioners, we hereby present you with this award in recognition for your ongoing commitment and over 4 decades of support to the Wayne Amateur Radio Club. Thank you. So,
Just a quick question. Looking at the political aspect of it, do we get a plaque for Joe, the emergency management coordinator?
Yes.
that's fine. We have a motion on the floor. We need a second. That we will also provide the EMA director, Joe Villegas, with
And assistant.
and his assistant, Barb, with a plaque also. Second,
Second.
Gary, seconds. Mike made the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried.
They do not have to be concurrent though, right?
No,
This is Kate RMC. Eric, you've done a great job. Thank you very much.
you're certainly welcome. You do a great job on the newsletter too. All right, any other reports that I forgot about? Anything anybody wants to add there? All right, let's move on to old business. Gary, would you like to mention the comm center vertical HF antenna again and just
Yeah,
refresh everybody what we're gonna do?
it'll be spring, but we're gonna either replace or fix the comm center vertical come spring as soon as the weather gets better. We scanned it again over the weekend and it's completely off frequency. I'm sure it's repairable, but we need to pull it down and we want to keep, as long as the comm center building stays available, we want to keep an HF antenna up there. And so we will need some volunteers on some Saturday to either pull down and make a swap, which might be the quickest and best thing. We've got a couple of potential antennas we could put up there. But I mean, it won't be till the weather gets nicer as far as I'm concerned, but.
Very good. We'll take care of setting it up then.
Yeah, we'll set it up, pick a Saturday or something. It'll only take 3 or 4 people.
Any questions?
Not so much a question, I guess it is a question. But we talked probably a year or so ago.
We're done.
About, having like a community.
We're done.
Is that maybe something that we could explore there?
I hope we're done.
Have the coax on the outside of the
Soon as we
building.
get a working
so that
antenna,
lock-
yeah.
lock box where anybody that wanted to could go there, almost take perks in the area, pull up there, plug your unit in. And
Definitely.
do it if you don't have stuff at home.
Yeah, I know we had mentioned that before. Yes, sir.
Probably I'll wait till new business.
Okay. The last
That's how I do
simplex
it.
contest, you want to put the,
No, that ain't gonna work.
Aaron, you want to put the PowerPoint up?
That ought to work. Oh, shit. Karen McQuaid,
Don't
Future
record,
Mike.
don't record that, Steve.
I love you so much.
We love you too.
Okay.
How about them Browns?
Get intimate here.
All right.
Keep that camera.
How do you start this there?
Slideshow. From the beginning over on the left. That's fine. Oh, that's.
Brought to you by-
There we go. All right. This past Saturday, we participated in the Ohio Aries Simplex contest from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. He's working on it. So this is our after action report. I thought that sounded official. All right, we set up 4 different stations, and this is Mike looking for his favorite pen here. So I don't know if it was a lucky pen or what, but
Very much so.
very much so.
No, haven't found it. We're united.
And I don't know who this guy is. He's got his hat pulled down over his face. But anyway, he was putting together a power pole, power cable last minute. And
That's the DX engineering show we had up there, power poles, DX. all that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I was looking for my glasses, make it easier. You can see them over there on the very right. With my glasses off, I couldn't find them. So anyway. And here's several operators way in the back there. I made a total of 4 contacts on 220 megahertz.
That many.
4 whole contacts, yes. And
Where were they
then
at?
Tom over here in the middle on the right. And working 440 at the time. Aaron up here working 6 meters. Mike worked 6 meters as long as he could, and then Aaron took over for him. And Gary took all the pictures, so we didn't have him in any of them. So he was over here off screen working 2 meters at the time.
Didn't raise no fool.
And still making contacts here, Aaron and Tom. So we had 4 stations and 1 for each of the 4 bands that we operated on. And you can see there by the number of contacts that we had the most on 2 meters. Second was 70 centimeters or 440. Third was 6 meters, and bringing up the rear, 1¼ meters. So I graphed it out, and we've got the contacts, number of contacts in blue, the points in orange, and the counties that we worked in gray. Notice the discrepancy, I call it a discrepancy in points for the 6 meters. We got 10 points for each 6 meter contact. And I think their idea was just to encourage that particular band. Where does it look like we probably should have had the higher number of contacts there? So it was disproportionate, but it is what it is. We had a total of 17 counties worked. And there's
That's a great map, Eric.
there's a big difference there, or a big blank space there, kind of in the middle with Holmes, Tuscarawas, Carroll County, Harrison. I'd say that'd be a good place for somebody to do a rover.
Because I wasn't there this year.
That's what you had planned to do.
I had real good luck out of Homes and Tusk last year.
So does anybody remember who made the Lucas contact? I got it in the logs here. But
Lucas.
Oh, I may have worked them.
well, doesn't matter
What
anyway.
band was it? Do you know?
We didn't do it.
No, I don't know. I have to look it up.
That'd be nice to include in the writing. He said that he sent it forward.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 meters.
Okay, so we had a total of 298 points times 17 counties, 5,066 points. We got 200 points for EOC operation and allows you 50 points for all dragging all the batteries in and doing all that. But it was kind of fun, you know, to show.
Only
that we
200 pounds
really-
worth.
What's that?
I said, you only brought 200 pounds worth.
Yeah. Mike brought his battery, Eric brought his, so we were in good shape. Total of 5,316 points then.
Put that in perspective, I had close to 12,000 last year.
Yeah.
Without rovering it, I worked out 7 counties.
Yeah. Just looking over the past several years, that'll probably put us in the top 10, but I don't know that, you know, until the results come in. The bands were not that active this year, I didn't think. So anyway, thanks to the people that operated and anybody that helped set up. And anybody that just gave us moral support.
Yeah, our visitors.
Yeah, Lee came in and
I didn't get your picture.
brought some of the eye candy in that we had, brought his daughter in, so.
For the purpose of our one newcomer, maybe an explanation of what simplex,
Yes.
the significance of that.
We operate, as you probably gathered, out off of the repeaters on these VHF bands. So we send a signal into the repeater rebroadcasts it. So we can use a simple handheld, and can't believe nobody brought one here. There we go. We can use a simple handheld with a simple antenna just to work over maybe, a radius of 50, 60, sometimes 100 miles, only on a couple of watts. But on simplex, or excuse me, with a repeater, the signal goes into the repeater on one frequency and comes out on another. So we call that duplex. On the simplex, we're just using the same frequency to both transmit and receive.
So it's a test to see how far you can reach with your single.
Exactly.
And how effective would be in an emergency.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
This is all geared to emergency communication. So we want to know what kind of a coverage. And that's the basic purpose of that Ohio Simplex contest, which is sponsored by the ARRL Section 8, which would be Ohio, include Ohio areas, amateur radio emergency service. Anything else? Did I miss? No.
One of the things we did do, we kind of cheated on 2 and 440.
Yes, we did, but we didn't.
We did, we did. We
You wanna explain that?
disconnected the repeater, well, the 2-meter repeater's already out of that building. But we used the repeater antennas, which were up like around 200 feet, give or take. Somebody knows exactly, I'm sure. What's that?
John.
But although you're
Oh,
using,
John?
although you're using that repeater antenna, quite possibly in an emergency situation.
That's exactly
you
what
could
we
still do that.
Yeah.
That would still be viable if your repeater was not operable.
And we also have the capability of setting up much higher masts than we
Yeah.
did. We didn't, need them because we had
His
that
220 was only up, what, 10 feet?
10 feet, but it was a 5-element beam.
Yeah, it was a little beam.
That concentrates the.
And that was just for that event.
Yeah, just for that event.
We just took,
Where were your 220 contacts at? Do you recall?
Yeah, Medina County and
I guess my antenna picture figures.
Medina County, Stark, and I don't remember.
So at least 3 different counties.
We had 3 counties. Okay, and they're just, that band is extremely underused. And there are a couple guys in the area, Jody K8 GKO, that is trying to promote that. And they've put a repeater on the air in Medina County.
Now, the other counties were in on this the same day,
All of the counties
trying
in
to contact
Ohio,
each other.
and it could be anyone else too. So it
That's,
didn't have to be
that's
limited.
a little beam in all higher was on 220.
Okay.
Anything else on Simplex? We already mentioned the license guides. Anybody know of any old business that I missed? All right, going on to new business, Winter Field Day. The dates here, 1400 Eastern Standard Time on the 29th to 1400 on the 30th. So that's Saturday and Sunday. And I want to take kind of a poll to see if how many of you would be interested in working. We're trying to decide. We have the capability now of putting 3 different bands. It would be 80 or 75 meters, 40 meters, and 20 meters on the same antenna through bandpass filters and multiplexer. So we could operate 3 separate transceivers on that same antenna. Wanted to work some of the other bands, 15 or 10, we could put up the type vertical or whatever, I guess. the dipole.
And still put an inline filter in it. Where it would be. You got all 5 bands in filters? Or you just get
No,
Oh, okay.
well, the triplexer only handles 3.
Yeah, I know the triplexer does, but
Yeah.
for separate dipoles, you only need the band pass. I thought you got 5 band pass.
Oh, you don't know, we don't have bandpass filters for anything but those 2 bands. You wouldn't need them for,
It's kind of nice to have. Mr.
Yeah.
Claus.
well, we have them, we have gooses.
Yeah, we can use gooses.
So we could use gooses, yeah, that's true. Okay, anyway, how many of you might be interested in operating? 1, 2, 3.
Don't have furniture radio, nothing but yourself.
So, we might as well plan on using all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Let's say we could send a survey out or we're working out.
Yeah.
Just let me know. and we put something
Yeah, I'll
together,
let them know
send out.
what we're doing. So I haven't signed this up yet, but we would be, there's 3 categories. You can be a home station, an inside station, which is what we would be. It's at a separate location at our emergency operations center. And third one would be for the brave souls that are willing to operate outside, you know, either in tents or something like that. So,
Or go to California.
or go to California. All right. As far as programs, we've already talked a little bit about the 3 that I listed on the minutes. Elmer or Goose Steingas doing a program on operating the station grounding. How many would find that of interest? Number of you. And Javen Miller from the Sarah Club. I gave Javen all 3 of his tests within a year, I think. He took his technician, then his general and his extra. And Jerry Stroud also, he and I both were on the ET team, so I gave him his exams, and he is just phenomenal. He's now 16 years old. He was 13 at the time. And he uses modeling software for modeling antennas. And that sounded interest anybody?
And I think he uses the European stuff instead of the
Yeah.
mini NEC. So even if you've seen Russell's, it'll be a different presentation.
Keeps it in the minute.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to get well, I haven't been trying very hard, I have to say. But trying to get my WinLink up with my 7300. And I've gotten as far as downloading the program, but haven't got it on the air yet. So Doug's very proficient at that. And,
Yeah, the meeting.
kind of thinking February, March, and April. I'd like to hold off on your program till April so I can do it. Because I'll be on the next couple of months, so.
Goose, I know he said I know he goes out of state, he would be like probably spring sometime, I don't know when he gets back, but that would be the soonest that he said he could do his.
So WinLink, interesting.
I'm interested in everything.
All right. Anything I missed?
Could I circle back to Winterfield Day?
Sure.
To make a couple comments about it. You know, obviously, we just spoke about Winterfield Day. One of the things that I would point out is, you know, it is an HF, you know, event as far as radios go. But just because you're not licensed to operate on this band, you can still attend and still operate. So it's an opportunity to get on what I refer to as the big radio and make those contacts, just so long as a licensed individual is right there. So
You can even operate in the extra portions of the band, even if you're just a technician.
so it's a good opportunity for people that have been, you know, dabbling, maybe not even licensed at all. You can sit down there and talk on the radio, on the big radio, and make the potentially worldwide contacts.
So when is that?
That is January 29 and 30. That would be last Saturday and Sunday of the per month. So it's 2 PM to 2 PM. Yeah, there's no way we'll operate all 24 hours, but unless somebody is really gung ho.
Yeah, if someone wants to operate nights, sometimes you get some weird stuff.
Yeah,
Are we gonna set up, is it set up like field day? Are we gonna set up in advance or are we gonna wait till it starts?
we can set up in advance as far as I know. So,
But I mean, we're not gonna operate the whole time. It gives you extra hours. I mean, I don't know which way you wanna go.
You start set up to noon Friday.
it won't take us 2 hours.
Yeah, is your mask gonna be in?
No, can we use yours?
If it'll work for you, yeah.
It should. I mean, it
Yeah.
goes up how far?
Well, I think it's supposed to be 35 or 40 feet, I forget.
We're using an off-center fed dipole, same one we used for field day last year. And Mike ran the SWR, and it was pretty good all across those bands, as I recall, so. Yeah,
For winter field day, logging software. And on the write-ups on the web, they mentioned N3 FJP has software specific for different events, including winter field day. The nice dedicated just for that, for the report actions. The nice thing about it is $8.99 for registering it, and can be put on any computer at the site.
oh, just $8.99, we can use it on all 3 computers.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna try to network them, are we? Because on separate bands.
Yeah.
This is set up in
Bands,
the network.
It wouldn't matter much if you're on separate bands, if you know.
That's what I
mean,
thought.
It would be nice, I'm sure, because it'll put it all in one log at the end for you, but.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We'd have to dedicate another weekend to get that working, so we don't.
Yeah,
would be like-
it's coming up pretty quick, so.
Where is this located?
At the comm center in Worcester, corner of Oldman and Burbank.
It's a concrete block building at the soccer fields, if you know what the soccer fields are.
It's where we used to hold our regular meetings.
I guess the question is, are you from the Worcester area?
No,
No, okay.
Well,
I mean, I've been in Wayne County 16 years, but I don't know where this used to be in
You know
that.
where the high
used to be.
school is?
Yes,
It is straight east of the high school,
all right.
across the street.
Just
At
put
the corner.
Oldman and Burbank.
Yeah, it's Oldman that runs in
intersection.
front of the high school and Burbank's the road, first road it runs
Yeah.
into.
I'll put something on our website.
Yeah, we got maps.
Exactly where it is.
Where the soccer fields are.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she didn't know where they were.
And Pat, for your
But I can find it.
Yeah.
your benefit, this is a contest, an HF or a high frequency contest. This is the long distance bands. You don't use repeaters on these occasionally, they do on 10 meters, but on most of these bands, it'll just be point to point.
Several states at least and potentially worldwide.
Yeah.
on
So this
propagation.
is kind of the same thing as the simplex, who can contact so many people and how far you got with what you
Yeah.
got.
But
Okay.
it'll be on the other band, the HF bands as opposed to the very high frequency, the ultra high frequency.
And you compare information with everybody else to see who got so far with what.
It's an organization, there's an organization that runs this that will log everything or collect all the logs and then report, issue a report.
And the antenna that's used, just to put it in perspective, it is really nothing more than a single piece of wire. So it's not a big tower or beam antennas. It's a wire that if you had it in your backyard, most people would not know it's even there. And that's somewhat of the remarkable part of it is a very basic arrangement, but
I have one set up in what's called an NVIS configuration in my yard, and sometimes I don't know it's there either. And I've clotheslined myself a couple times.
But this also is a simulated type of emergency, almost, that's the reason they work outside and everything else. But the difference is local emergencies typically use VHF. A snowstorm, a tornado would be on VHF, most of your emergency communications. In a hurricane or something, you may be trying to get much more distance, so that's when you would use HF. Each frequency has different propagation modes. So that's the reason for the difference.
And what's the
Extra.
website?
Our website,
WAWO.org.
Any other comments? No, we'll just.
Give me a day or two, to look at stuff on the website about where the comm center is and all that.
Looks up the radio real nice.
So we'll be contacting some people about radios and use my antenna again, I guess. What else? Oh, I've got the simplex or the triplexer in the filters, so. All right. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:21.
And one more question, sorry.
Yes.
Do you do, I don't know how to explain this, practice emergency runs? Like practicing, getting a hold of each other and location,
Yeah,
things like that?
I'll kind of try to roll all this in one. Well, first of all, where are you from?
I live in Smithfield.
Okay, so you're solid.
I work here in Worcester.
Okay, solid center of Wayne County. So twice a week, we have what we call a net. We have on two different modes. So like on Wednesday night is the club mode at 9 o'clock on the local repeater. And it's an opportunity, one, for people to test, make sure their equipment is still working, and two, fellowship. Really, everybody in this room pretty much gets on, hey, how you doing? Here's what I did today, and then moves on to the next person. Then there's another, a digital mode on a digital mobile radio that we do on Monday night, really the same type of format. And then several times throughout the year, there'll be exercises that take place for various simulated emergency situations where we might be using both the VHF, the close-in type radios combined with the out of the area radios. You made reference to WinLink, which is essentially email that you use your radio to send it. So if you have a situation where there's no internet available, big tornado comes through the area, takes everything down. I can hook up my HF radio and send email via stations that are hundreds of miles away. So that's what it does. So yes, where we're using our radios to talk all the time. And that's where probably 90% of the radio traffic happens, is in conjunction with these nets. So if you just turn it on in the middle of the day, you may not hear a whole lot of activity. Whereas if you turn it on when these nets are scheduled.
And there's emergency backup power if there's no electricity in the world?
Either battery, we have small generators. The comm center at the present time has a large generator, so. if you just
Solar,
plug in
anything
break-
solar?
Pardon me?
Solar?
Sometimes you can do solar.
We haven't been active in it, but a lot of people are.
Tests such as winter field day and even the simplex contest, there's extra points that are available if you're operating on backup power sources, whether it's battery power. What that amounts to is you're encouraged to use those types of
What
techniques.
size generator?
It's all, whether it's battery, generator, solar, whatever it happens to be, that is alternate emergency power. So there's no distinction made in most.
What size generator or alternative power would you need?
It depends on how big a radio, how much power you're running out of your radio.
Okay.
And most of these tests, like Winterfield Day and Summerfield Day, are limited to 150 watts.
Oh, that's
I've got a
it?
little one about 40 pounds. Gary's got one similar to that. Several of you probably have those.
And typically
100 watts.
100 watts RF
100 watts coming out of the radio, not 100 watts.
out of the generator.
out of the generator.
Okay,
But any 1,000-watt generator will run, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
okay, 1,000, okay, that's
And
what I was
900
wondering.
watt.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah. Now, if you start running 1,500 watts, then that's a whole other story, but they don't usually do that on field.
Mike,
I've got several end connectors anybody can have for picking them up. When I lived out on Angling, I got a bunch of these and some lightning arresters I'm gonna set up. protection of all the antennas. I still plan to do it, even though I don't live out there, that, but I give up finding, and anybody who uses an end connector, you can help yourself.
We use one on
Several of us were trying to use our headphones during the Simplex contest, and we needed adapters for going from the headphones or stereo, we need to go to mono. So I ordered 6 of them. I got here tonight. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. Gary, W8GMF, so moved. Second. Tom.
VCR.
Thanks.
Plug it in.
Bye. All in favor? Aye. All right, that sounds like a. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
The Justice Center.
See you guys.
Yeah. Watch the door.
I have everything on.
Got more
Jason, don't bring it. Hey, Steve. I would kind of like to have feedback. I would kind of like to have a little feedback. Just because if you want to,
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.